Dear brothers and sisters, today I want to talk about the spiritual authority that the Church is very often lacking, and what is the true source of this authority, that the whole world may be listening to the testimony of the Church, and there won't be so many scandals and so many people diverted away from the Church. And very often we consider wrong things to be the source of authority, and this is the big problem. And in modern times, the problem is big because we are in very difficult times and decisive times. The church-wise, in the Orthodox Church, we have internal quarrels right now and maybe splits. And in the world overall, we have this great reset. We have these uncertainties coming from this retransformation of this world, and we don't know what will be in the future. Okay, it may be bad, it may be good. Okay, it's now very uncertain. And with the state of society right now, the things are not very optimistic because we have the traditional moral values destroyed, family values are destroyed. We have this postmodern, modernist mindset. There are no cultural things preserved. Almost everything is destroyed. Okay, it becomes only artifacts of history. So we are not in a good shape as a humanity overall and as a church overall. Okay, and the times are we were on the crossroads right now, and we have all this religious syncretism. Okay, that everything is about the same, and all different kinds of sects, and everything is just mixed together, and all these cults and coming from everywhere. Okay, shamanism and the yoga and whatnot. Okay, many different things, and the true faith is very weak right now. So in these times of temptation and crisis, we need to know what are the true factors that can make us strong in our testimony about Christ. Okay, and very often we wrong things were considered the source of authority. Okay, today I want to talk about this. The 5 things which are not really, and then I'll talk about what is the true source of authority. Okay, the first thing that sometimes people advocate is a glorious history. Okay, our church has background, and for example, that was a problem in Rome. Okay, we have so many saints in Rome. We have apostles preaching in Rome, and this is such a historical glory and all these things. Okay, but later we saw that this is not working, and the whole Roman Church left and became far away. Okay, from the true church. We have some churches destroyed. Okay, there was in this small Asia Minor. Okay, we had many glorious churches, but later now it's all Turkey. Okay, there is no churches there almost. Okay, those glorious churches all gone. Okay, the Church of Carthage gone. Okay, so we cannot really count on this. Okay, say there was some super glorious bishops in Constantinople, John the Chrysostom or others. Okay, so this is why we have such a spiritual. People don't really care about this so much. Okay, and we see that it doesn't work. It doesn't withstand this test of time. Okay. Another thing that is wrong is appeal to legalistic thing. Okay, for example, saying that by the law of the Church now it's for example Vatican is the center, or there is so many Orthodox people now like this. They say we have this descendancy from the apostles, okay, with the laying of hands, and so there is this grace coming from the apostles, okay, and now this is why we are the heirs of the apostles, our bishops, and now this is the source of their authority. Well, this is very weak, because we know that many bishops, many patriarchs, popes became heretics, okay, or big sinners. And holy people also said that the hell is full of bishops. Okay, so this laying of hands did not help them. Overall, of course, this is true. I'm not saying it's not true that the grace is coming from the apostles, but it's not guaranteed. It doesn't guarantee anything. Okay. And this is why the whole church is sometimes left into heresy, where all the bishops were ordained, okay, by canonic bishops. Okay, so this is not this is external things. We can say so. Okay, this is like legalistic. We say legalistic thing, and it's valid, but to a certain extent. It's not really very strong point. Another wrong thing is when we say it's the authority is coming from national spirit. Okay, it's a glorious history of our nation, and many people in Europe, many countries, many nations have this spirit. Okay, because it's Bulgarian or Russian or Serbian or Greek or Georgian, or okay, this is why we have such a strong nation and we have such a good history, and this is why it's super, it's good. Okay, this is also very weak. It's not persuading people. Okay, people are seeking for truth coming from Christ, who is above any nation. Okay, so this is also some relative thing. It's good. I'm not saying it's bad to have a strong nation and okay, many Christians, and it's many saints okay, glorified God through their lives in certain nations, but this is not the main factor. Okay, and it's quite relative. The whole nation sometimes become atheist and become something else. Okay, so we cannot count on this. Okay, and this is a big problem for the Orthodoxy. It became segregated. Okay, nation-wise. Okay, different nations, they have different local churches, and okay, and this is making our testimony about Christ weaker. Okay, the fourth thing is any kind of declaration. Okay, any kind of declaration that we say, for example, Moscow is the third Rome. Okay, it's so strong, powerful idea, and this is why we have this, okay, the truth and things like this. This is also not persuading, because it has to be not come from some slogan or for some okay, some kind of brand. Okay, it's not McDonald's. Okay, in the regular world you can say yes, McDonald's is quality, it's such a good brand, and yes, if it's McDonald's you have to eat it. And okay, church is not McDonald's. It's not relying on these kind of things, any slogans or any kind of things like that. So this is not a source of true spiritual authority. And the last source, which is not really a good source, okay, is okay. We have a lot of churches, and it's very beautiful, and many icons, and it's many gold and many ancient things and relics of holy people and holy things, parts of the cross of Christ, and this and that, and this is why you see how a great authority that does the church. No, this is for people. It's not convincing for most people. Maybe it can be used as a, well, of course, the holy things. It's very good for motivation of faith, that people can go and draw inspiration and strengthen their faith. looking at these saints, but also. Okay, this can be useful for a mission. Okay, just to catch attention, that people see, oh, church, oh, it's something important. They understand, but at some point they need to see behind. They need to see that it's not just this. It's not just nice singing and some interesting stuff inside. That there is behind is God Himself and the sanctity and holy life, and they can be part of the body of Christ. Then yes, but otherwise all these things, they will people will be interested for a while, and then it's gone. Okay, it's finished. Okay, so most people are quite superficial, and they don't really get what is behind. So this is why it's not working. Okay. So we see that all these 5 things that I've listed are not real source of authority. They can have some validity. It's not garbage. Okay, they're important, but not very important, very crucial. And what is very important? Okay, now let us say what is very important. The first is purity of faith. The faith has to be 100% authentic, without any subjective additions. Okay, if it's many different sects, okay, everybody has his own idea. One Bible, but everybody has different interpretation. Why should I believe yours? Okay, okay, it's not really persuading. Okay, and to have this authentic true faith coming from apostles without any addition, any change, anything. Okay, it's the authentic faith. This is one important thing. Another important thing, and maybe even more important, okay, is the holiness of life. Okay, holiness of life, meaning that people really follow Christ in how they live, in the way how they treat people, that they have love in their hearts. They have this comes through 2 things mainly: through asceticism and through prayer. Okay, asceticism is killing your old selfish self and having Christ grow in you. Okay, this is done. And a prayer is also strength of your faith, that you ask God to help and to you have dialogue with Him. Okay, these things are very important. If we have patriarchs or bishops, they have big cars and big castles. They like stuff. How they can say that? Okay, you need to help the poor. You need to reject yourself and stuff like this, not being attached to any worldly thing. They cannot say this. Okay, they have no moral right to say things like this, because they themselves are immersed in all this wealth. Okay, so holiness of life, this is very important. Third thing is what did you sacrifice for Christ? Did you sacrifice something? Why in the early church those confessors and martyrs had a great authority? Confessors are those who were tortured for their faith, and they did not reject, and they remained loyal, faithful to Christ. Everybody else would come later for advice to them. Okay, because people saw that these people are truly, they sacrificed many things for Christ. Okay, they were handicapped, they were without eyes. Okay, they really withstood big tortures. Okay, nowadays we don't have that much. So what we can sacrifice? Many people need to go. To sacrifice their time to minister to the poor. Maybe leave their country, leave their families to do God's work. Okay, this is important. They really sacrifice something for Christ, for the sake of the gospel. Okay, so this brings authority, spiritual authority. We need to be ready for that. Okay, Another related to this, the fourth source is what is your ministry to Christ? What do you do, okay, to minister Christ? It may be social work, it may be mission work, okay, it's some active involvement in some kind of task for the name of Christ. Because sometimes in the Orthodox Church we have people, they pray a lot in the church, they go to service, but other than that they don't do much, okay? And people say, why? Buddhists do this, and other sects do a lot of, okay, they build hospitals, they have orphanages, but you don't do it, okay? Why? Okay, and this also makes our message, our testimony weak. Okay, so we need to have a good balance, okay, prayer and active ministry. Another and maybe the last source of authority is a living word of truth. Okay, what do I mean by that? Our testimony about faith has to include a life word. Okay, that we testify for truth. We not just use some textbooks or some bureaucratic, legalistic this speech. Okay, this nice and okay, but it's all politically correct, and okay, it's all under this spirit of this world. Okay, catering to the spirit of this world. We have to have a life word which is not afraid of anything, which can dare to say the truth, not afraid of it, okay, and willing to share and do this testimony. So let us remember about this, and these five things we are sometimes lacking. We are lacking. We need to remember that this is important. In the church, sometimes there is temptation. Some people say, well, it's all providence of the Lord. Okay, if we don't have any people come to church, well, the Lord cannot bring them to the church. So, okay, and we will just wait while the providence will arrange for things. And it will not happen if we don't do things, okay, if we are not active, okay, if we don't care about these five things that I've mentioned just now. So let us be very eager in our faith, not wait for something, okay, be alive, be bringing fruit. We need to bring fruit of faith. Let us change ourselves, and let us do this, witness this testimony. Okay, then many people will come to the church. Many people who are walking around, they're looking at the church, but they don't see what they need to see. Okay, and we need to remember what is very important and what is Christ waiting from every one of us. May Lord help you and give you His blessing and His wisdom, His obedience to the God, not selfishness, and guide you on this path of Christian testimony. Amen. God bless.